Hi everyone, welcome back. In this video, we'll go ahead and see how we can insert and edit tables inside of Microsoft Word. And as part of this video, we'll go ahead and see the basic parts of how we can insert tables. And additionally, we'll also see how we can design our tables and make our tables look a specific way by changing their fonts and the appearance of the rows and the columns. And we'll also see how we can insert rows, insert and delete columns, and merge cells, split tables, and also how we can do some cool things like change the direction of your text within your cells. And additionally, we'll also see how we can convert a text to a table and also table to a text. Also, we'll see this in two parts, where in part one of the video, we'll primarily look at how we can insert a table and how to use some of the important editing features that are available inside of the table layout tab. And in part two, we will go ahead and see the editing options that are available inside of the table design tab that pops up once you insert a table. And you can find a link to part two in the description box below, so you can go ahead and watch that as well in continuation to this. So right now, let's get started with part one. Firstly, in order to be able to insert tables, you will need to enter into the Insert tab of Microsoft Word. And once you get into this section, you'll see something called as Tables. And over here, you'll see a table option. Below this, you'll see a drop down, and all you have to do is just click on the drop down. Before you go ahead and insert a table, also remember that you need to place your cursor on the Word document wherever you're looking to insert the table, and then you click on the drop down. And once you click on the drop down, you'll notice that there are several ways in which you can insert tables and different types of tables that you can insert. Now, the first way is over here, where you can just select these cells, and if you select the first cell, it's going to insert a table consisting of one row and one column. If you go to the next one, it's going to insert a table consisting of two columns and one row. However, if you want two rows, you can do this, and if you want two rows and two columns, you can do this. So you can go ahead and select manually. However, that's a tedious way to do it. So you can also think about drawing a table. When you select the draw table option, you'll basically get a pencil like structure over here, which enables you to just drag it like this and be able to draw a table of the kind that you want. Let's just say that you know that your table consists of three rows and two columns. Then you can also, wherever you want to, just draw a row like this, and then you can also go ahead and draw three columns if this is what you're looking for. So you can go ahead and just draw a table, and to be able to type inside this and come out of this pencil like structure, you can click on escape on your keyboard and it will be gone, and you can start typing. You can start filling up the cells over here. In this manner, you can draw a table also, but this is not very convenient because if you want to draw large tables, then it becomes a very tedious job. So this won't be the most appropriate option. So if at all you want to delete this table, all you have to do is you can just select over here, and you will notice that once you draw a table or insert a table, there'll be two other options over here that come up, which is called as the table design option and the table layout tab. You can either enter into the table layout tab and find the delete option over here, or you can just, once you select the table, right click on it and you will find a delete table option, and this enables you to delete the table. Now, the next couple of options to insert a table are, you can also choose a quick tables option where there are a lot of built-in options. For example, if you're looking to insert a calendar, then you can directly go and insert something like this and go ahead and edit these based on your requirement. If you don't want it, as we've seen, we can just delete the table, and you can explore some of the built-in options over here. There are some calendars, there are some tabular kind of tables and matrices. If you're looking for some ready to use tables, then you can go ahead and check out these. If not, you can also insert a spreadsheet, which is basically an Excel worksheet is going to get inserted whenever you click on this, and it will begin to look like this, and you can go ahead and use this Excel worksheet as well as your table. But if this is not what you're looking for, then you can just go ahead and delete it as well. Now, one more interesting way of inserting a table is by converting your text to a table, and the way to convert your text to a table is by typing your tabular content by using a separator, and this separator can be a comma or it can be a tab. What I mean to say by that is, for example, if I know that the first cell of my table, the content of that says day, which is the first row, first column, and then I know that the next cell consists of the timings, which is, let's say, 1 to 2 p.m., and then I know that the next cell consists of data, which says 2 to 3 p.m., and then click on enter, and then I can enter the second row of my table. And once I enter the second row of my table, I can again start typing this by using a comma as a separator, and let's say it says Monday, comma, task 1, and then there is task 2, 2 and I'm doing a comma separation, and then I can click on enter once again. And similarly, I can type the contents of row 3, which is probably Tuesday, and there is T1 and T2. And since I've done a comma separation, all I'll have to do is I can just make my entire selection, and I can convert this text into a table right now by clicking on the drop down here, and there's a convert text to table option. Once I do that, I know that firstly I have used a comma as a separator, so that's been automatically recognized and selected. And how many columns do I want? I basically want 3 columns because I have used and typed out content for 3 columns, and it's automatically recognized the number of rows to be 3. So it's also recognized the columns to be 3. And if all of this is appropriate, then you can just go ahead and select OK, and you'll notice that your content has gotten converted to a table. Now, just to illustrate this, I have already pasted some content over here, which consists of a department name and the sales for the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4, and the annual total of the sales. So this is a table in which the content has been separated using commas. So all I can do is select this table and go to your insert and table and convert text to table, and it has recognized it as a comma, and it has also recognized the number of columns and the number of rows automatically. So I can just click on OK, and my content has been converted to a table. So this is another way to insert your tables. Apart from this, the most commonly used way to insert your tables is the option which says insert table over here, and all you have to do is click on this. And once you click on it, you need to know beforehand as to how many columns do you want in your table and how many rows do you want your table to have. Let's just say that I know that my table consists of 7 rows and it consists of 6 columns. Then I'll just have to type it out over here and also click on OK. It's going to be inserted over here. But one thing to keep in mind always is before you insert your tables, place your cursor on the document wherever you're looking to insert the table. And once you've inserted the table, now you can go ahead and place your cursor in each of these cells of the table, and this is called as your row of the table, and this is your column of each table. And you can make multiple selections at a time, or you can also make a single selection. Place your cursor and start typing content within each of your cells in this manner. This is the most common way of inserting a table. And if you're looking to delete any of the content that you have pasted, you can obviously place your cursor and click the backspace, or you can also select multiple rows and also click delete on your keyboard. Once you click delete, any content that you have placed is also going to get deleted while retaining the table structure. What I mean by that is, for example, if I just want to delete all of this content, or I want to just delete these values because I want the table layout to stay the same, then all I have to do is select these specific cells and click on delete on my keyboard, and that's just going to delete the content while retaining the layout of the table. Now that the inserting part of your table is done, let's go ahead and look at the features that are available in MS Word to edit your tables. And firstly, in order to come across these features, what you'll have to do is you'll need to click anywhere on your table. And once you click anywhere on your table, you'll notice that these two options over here open up, which are called as table design and table layout. Now first, let's check out all the options that are available inside the table layout option. And in order to understand the options that are available inside these, I have firstly placed two tables over here, which is basically a timetable that I have pasted as the content. And the first row consists of the day or the week along with the timings, and this is which day of the week it is and which week it is. So this is basically week 1, the first table, and at different timings what are my tasks that I'm going to be doing. And there's another table 2 which consists of week 2. So I've basically pasted these two tables over here in order to be able to explore the different options that are available over here. As you can see, the first option over here says select. So once you click on the drop down, you'll notice that it allows you to basically select a specific cell or a column, row, or a table. What do we mean by that? Wherever you place your cursor within your table, right now I'm placing it in row 2, column 2, which is a team meeting over here. And if I click on the select, it allows me to either select the specific cell if I want to make any specific changes to it, or if it'll allow me to select the entire column that this specific cell belongs to. So it's going to select this entire column when I select the column. If I want to select the entire row, this is the entire table. But if I wanted to select the entire row, for example, I can place my cursor over here and click on select row, and it's going to be selected like this. Or if I want to select the entire table, I can do it by this. So I can go ahead and use this, or I can also do it manually like this. Or if I want to select a specific row, I can do it like this, and a specific column can be selected like this. The draw table option over here is what we've already seen. The erase option is basically if you want to erase any specific lines in your table. For example, let's just say that in the place where I have put lunch break, I just want to delete all of this content, and I just want to go ahead and erase these lines altogether because I don't want these lines to be there. Then I can just leave it free. So basically it looks like 12 to 1 is a free slot, and we can insert whatever content we want over here. So you can use your erase table option to erase any specific lines that you're looking for, or you can make multiple selections like this this and erase those as well if that's what you're looking to do. If you want to turn off the eraser, then you can go ahead and just turn it off over here and it will be gone back to normal. Now coming to the delete options, I can basically delete either rows or columns or specific cells or the entire table as a whole. So we've already checked out the delete table option, which is if I want to delete a table, I'll have to select it, and just clicking delete on the keyboard is not enough because it's going to delete only the contents of your table. If I want to delete the whole table, I'll have to either right click and click on the delete table option over here, or I can go here and use the delete table option. Now the other options that are available are, let's just say for some reason I want to delete this specific row which consists of lunch break, then I can just select or place my cursor anywhere over here and click on delete columns, and that entire column is going to get deleted for me. Same way I can also click anywhere over here, and let's just say I don't have a Sunday schedule, then I can just click on that, either select the entire row or place your cursor anywhere within the row and click on delete rows, and that row will get deleted for me. And I can do this by going here, or I can also again right click on my mouse, and over here I see a delete cells option, and I can click on delete cells and choose the delete entire row option, and that row gets deleted. So that's also how I can do it. And similar to deleting, let's just say that I want to add one more row over here below Thursday, then I can also use my insert option. So I can either insert a row above, and once I do that it gets inserted above, or I can insert a row below and that's how it gets inserted. And otherwise, let's just say I want to insert a column, and let's say I want to insert one more timing over here where I want to insert something from 7 to 8, then I can insert a column to the left. And also, how do you make these columns broader or narrower? If you notice, if you place your cursor over here at the edge, you'll notice a differently shaped arrow over here, and you can just stretch it out like this and it's going to be able to stretch it for you. And let's just say I want to make this specific the day or week column a little narrower, then I can also do this to create more space for this. And this is how you can manually adjust the width of your columns. Similarly, you can also insert a column to the right if you're looking to do that by using these options. So these are primarily your delete and insert options. Now let's just say that for some reason I have two tables over here where I have week 1 and week 2 tables, and let's say I want to combine these because structurally they're the same, because my row headers are the same. It's in 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, which is the same over here, and the days of the week are also the same. So I can combine these two tables into one table. And if I want to do that, how can I do that? All I do is I place my cursor in the last row of my first table and I insert a row below that, and a new row has been inserted. Now what I'll do is I will just go ahead and I will remove the header. I don't want to paste the header once again because the header is the same for both table 1 and table 2. So same, all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go to the end of this table and select all the contents of this table and do a control X on my keyboard to cut this content. And I'm just going to place my cursor over here in this table and do a control V, which is I'm going to paste the content that I've copied. And what Word does automatically is it knows that I have pulled out content from a table, and that table consisted of a certain number of rows. So when I've pasted the content over here, it's automatically created that many number of rows for me without me having to insert rows multiple times and then paste the content. So just insert one row, place your cursor over there and cut the content from another table and paste it over here, and it'll automatically insert the required number of rows and the required number of columns to be able to fit that content over there. So in this manner, we have gone ahead and combined the two tables also over here. So we have week 1 up to here and week 2 from here onwards. Now let's say that for some reason I want to merge all of these cells. If you want to ever merge cells, and let's say I don't like the fact that I'm saying lunch break so many times, I know that it's a lunch break over here. So if I want to kind of edit that, what I can do is I can just select all the cells in this specific column like this, and I can click on merge cells. What this does is it's going to basically remove the individual cells and merge the entire thing into one single cell. But right now the issue that has happened over here is it still said lunch break multiple times. So what I can do is I can just select the content over here of all of these cells and just click on delete on my keyboard, so that the structure is going to remain the same and there's just lunch break written one time over here. So now I can just go ahead and merge these cells, and once I've merged it, there it says lunch break over here. Now because I want this lunch break to look a little differently, where let's just say that I want to realign the text in a specific way where it comes vertically, where it says lunch break in a vertical manner over here, how can I do that? So over here, if you come into the alignment section, you'll see something called as a text direction. And this text direction, each time you click on it, it's basically going to change the direction of text by rotating it by 90 degrees. So if I click it once, you'll notice that it's been rotated by 90 degrees once. And if I click on it one more time, it will be rotated one more time. And this is the appearance that I'm looking for. So I'm going to do this. And within the text direction, you'll also notice that over here, it's been aligned to the bottom left left of the entire cell. Now this has become one single cell because I've merged all of it and it's been aligned to the bottom left, or I can bring it to the bottom center, or I can bring it to the bottom right. But what I'm looking for is the center option, which is I basically want it to come to the center of the cell, both in a widthwise and a lengthwise manner. So in this manner, you can change your text direction as well. Now let's just say that I don't want it to be in this manner and I want to bring it back into all of the rows that were available and I want to separately mention it as lunch break. What I can also do is I can bring it back. Initially I did a merge cells by merging all of the 14 cells that were present into one single cell. Now I can also go backwards and split the cells back into 14. Why do I say 14? Is because there are 14 rows over here and I have just counted them and I know that there are 14 rows and there's only one single column. So I can also click on the split cells option and now I can select the number of rows. So I can select it as 14 rows and I want it to be split into only one column. I don't want two columns right now. So what I can do is I can click on OK and this brings back the 14 rows that I originally had because it split the single cell now into 14 cells in such a way that it consists of 14 rows and one column. Now let's just say for some reason you did want two columns over here and you just want to split it because you want to add something else, then you can also change it over here to two columns and click on OK, and this will get split into two columns. If you're looking to probably mention two things over here within this time slot, then you can go ahead and do and split it like that as well. Now, another place where I can use this split cells option is over here. Let's just say that I want to split these cells in such a way that I'm going to mention week 1 on one of the column headers and week 2 wherever week 2 begins, and then mention Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and so on over here. If I want to do that, what I'll basically do right now is I'm just going to go ahead and remove the week names over here for all of them, and I'll just keep this content over here. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to copy this and copy it over here as well because I just wanted to display this much as of now. And now I want to split these cells in such a way that I'm also displaying the week name and I'm also displaying the day of the week. But to be able to do that, what I'll do is I'm just going to select all of these cells and I'm going to split these cells. How do I want to split it? I basically want two columns. I want it to be split into two columns to be able to display the week number and also the day of the week. But the rows will still remain the same. I don't want any extra rows. So what I'm going to do is click on OK. But before that, it basically says merge cells before the split. What that is going to do is it's basically going to merge all of the contents into one single cell. But I don't really want that. I want these contents to stay in the same rows. So I'm going to uncheck that and I'm just going to click on OK. So whatever contents are there, they've stayed in the same place itself. However, if I did go ahead and check the merge cells options, what it's going to do is it's going to combine all of these Monday, Tuesdays to Sunday and then again another set of Monday, Tuesday to Sunday into one single cell, and it's going to give me the content. So I don't want this. So I'm just going to uncheck the merge cells options and split it into two columns. Now that I've split it into two columns, also I additionally want the week name to be displayed on the first column. So I'm just going to do a Control X and paste it over here, and I basically want the week name to be displayed over here. And because I'm looking for that, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to merge this many cells because Monday to Sunday is week 1, this specific set of cells. So what I'll do is I'll just merge these cells and I am going to go ahead and type week 1 over here, and I also want the text direction to be realigned like this, and I'm going to bring it to the center. So this is displaying it as week 1. In the same way, I'm also going to go ahead and merge these cells and also type out week 2 over here, and again align my text in this manner and bring it to the center. So this table now looks a lot better because this is saying this is week 1 and it's been segregated in a better manner. Now one other interesting thing is that if at all your table is running into multiple pages, because it's a very lengthy table, for example over here it's running into multiple pages because this is there on page 1, and if you notice only up to Monday has been able to fit over here. Tuesday, Wednesday onwards it has gone on to the next page. Now many times what we do is we find it difficult to refer to what timing is this, because over here I have the row header present. So I'm able to tell that, for example, if I just come to this light admin, I know that this specific task is to be done on Sunday at 9 to 10 a.m. because I'm able to refer to the row header over here. But the same thing when I come down over here, let's just say I'm looking at report writing, I don't exactly know what time I'm referring to because the row header is missing over here. So in such cases, when it's running into multiple pages, what you can do is you just want to repeat the header onto your next page as well. So how do you repeat the header to be able to refer to your header multiple times? All you have to do is you just have to select the header that you want to repeat. In this case, I want to repeat the row header onto my next table as well. So all I have to do is I have to select it, and within data over here you'll find an option called as repeat header rows. And if I select that, this is just going to get repeated for the table which has gone into the next page as well. So once I click on that, you'll notice that the header has started repeating on this next page also. So irrespective of how many pages your table is going to extend to, if I select the row header and repeat those header rows, this is applicable only to header rows. You can't repeat column headers, and irrespective of how many pages your table is going to run into, it's going to repeat the header at the top of every page for you to be able to refer to. Now I can see report writing and say that okay, this is to be done on Friday from 11 to 12. If at all you don't want that, then all you can do is you can just go ahead and turn it off and it will be removed. Now the next thing we'll see over here is how you can split a table into two tables. For example, now we have combined week 1 and week 2 into one table. Let's just say that this was my original table and it was a combined form, and I actually want to split it into two tables. Now what I can do is I can use the split table option. All I have to do is place my cursor wherever I want to split the table into two, and I'll just have to click on split table, and now it's gotten broken down into two separate tables. Now this is the table for week 1 and this is the table for week 2. This is how you basically split one single table into two tables, and you can always split it row wise. That is, you will not be able to split it column wise. Now another interesting option over here is the distribution of rows and distribution of columns. Over here what we notice in this table is that the distribution of the rows is not uniform, which is for sales, marketing, finance, IT and total, it looks well distributed. That is, the width of these cells is the same, but for the HR alone you will notice that the width of the cell is a little too much, and I don't want this to be uneven. If I'm looking for the distribution to be very even, then how can I do that? There is a distribute row and distribute column option over here. Right now what I'm looking to do is I want to distribute all the rows evenly, because now my rows are uneven, because some of my rows are probably having a 1 centimeter width and some of my rows are having a 2 centimeter width, and I don't want that. So all I have to do is I have to select all of these rows. So all I have to do is select those and choose something called as distribute rows. What this basically does is, if this specific width is let's say 10 centimeters, it's going to distribute the 10 centimeters equally between all the rows. And how many rows are present here? There is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 rows are there. It's going to divide the 10 centimeters equally between all the 7 rows. So all you have to do is click on distribute rows, and you'll notice that it has distributed them equally for all of them to be spaced out equally. Now let's just say somehow while I was making my table, this is what my table looked like, and let's just say the columns of my table were looking like this. And if I want the columns to be distributed, then all I have to do is either you can select again all of these columns, you can either select your entire table and choose distribute columns, or you can also just select these and you basically want the distance to be distributed evenly between all the columns. There are 6 columns, and let's just say this is 15 centimeters in length, and I basically want the 15 centimeters to be divided evenly between all of the columns. So I'm just going to click on this and click on distribute columns. So either if you make one selection of just one column, then it's going to distribute only that one column. Since I don't want that, I'm just going to select my entire table and click on distribute columns. So all the columns have been distributed evenly. Now the rows are distributed and the columns are distributed evenly, so it looks more clean in this manner. And once you clean it up like this, if you're looking for any specific column to be a little broader than other columns, then you can obviously go and do that. For example, I just want this column to be narrower than the others and I want more space to be left out for the figures, then I can obviously go ahead and do that. But you can always distribute the rows and columns to bring it to a clean shape and then rearrange your columns or your rows like this if you're looking to move them around so that it looks a lot cleaner. Now another important feature with tables is your sorting option. If at all I want to sort the rows or the columns, then that can be done as well. For example, let's just say in this table I basically want to sort out the rows in such a way that the rows having the highest annual total will be present on the top in a descending manner. So whichever specific department has the highest annual total should come first. So how can I do the sorting? I can just basically make my selection over here and click on the sort option over here, and here firstly it's going to ask me sort by, and since I've already made the selection, it's giving me sort by annual total as the drop down option. So I can select sort by. I basically want to sort this entire table by the annual total. And how do I want to sort it? Is it a number or a text or a date? Am I trying to sort out a date? Am I trying to sort out a number or a text? I know that mine is a number, so I'm just going to click on number, and I want it to be in the descending order. So I'm going to select descending and click on OK. And now you'll notice that it has been sorted out the departments in such a way that the one with the most annual total sales has come on top and the one with the least has come onto the bottom. Let's just say that for some reason I wanted to sort out this in a alphabetical order. And in that case, what can I do? So I can just make my selection once again and click on sort. I can select all of this once again, the entire column, and click on sort. And once I click on sort, I basically want to sort it by department, and I want to sort it based on the text. It is automatically recognized it, and I want it to be in the ascending order. So I'm just going to click on ascending and click on OK. So now we will notice that again it has gotten rearranged in the alphabetical order. So that's how you can make use of your sort option as well. Now, one of the last options over here within table layout is if at all you're looking to convert your table back into text, and let's just say you want to put this into a CSV file so that you can push the CSV file into any specific software tool where you're trying to read the content from a CSV file in which the values are separated by any specific separator like a comma or something, then you can go ahead and do that as well. For that, all you have to do is you have to just select your table and you have a convert to text option over here. Click on that, and let's just say you're looking for a comma separated kind of value. You have tab separated, you have other options. If let's say you're looking for using a pipe symbol like this and you want to separate them with this, then you can use that and click on OK, and you'll notice that your table has been converted back to text by using as a pipe separator. Or if you're again looking for a comma separation, then you can obviously convert to text and click on comma automatically and click on OK, and your table has been converted back into text. So yeah, these are all the important features within the table layout tab, and we'll go ahead and discuss the important features within the table design tab in part 2 of this video, wherein we'll look at features such as table styling, table borders, table coloring, etc. So you can find a link to that in the description box below. And until then, do give all these options that we've discussed in this video a try, and let me know in the comment section if you have any questions, and I'll definitely try and help you out. Until then, thank you so much for watching everyone. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.